Christmas time is almost here, and I have been working so hard to get my home ready for the holidays. And this year I decided to step up my Christmas tree game. I went to my local Home Depot and I purchased a 9-foot Kenwood Fraser flocked tree from the Home Decorators Collection at Home Depot. This is tree number T29. It is new this season, so I am going to show you guys the unboxing of my tree, the installation, and I'm going to give you an honest review of this new product from my local Home Depot. So let's get started. All right, so as usual, my husband Josh is going to be doing all of our manual labor today. He's going to do the unboxing and the installation. Now, this particular tree is a Fraser Fir tree. It's going to come pre-lit and it's going to be flocked. All right, so I learned last year when I unboxed my first flocked Christmas tree that it's very important to wear a mask before you start the unboxing process, because all of that fake snow that's on the tree, it makes a beautiful covering for the tree, but it also can shed. And so as you're unboxing and fluffing out your tree, a lot of those little snow particles become airborne and you definitely don't want to inhale those. So just go ahead and wear your mask first, and that's going to save you a lot of respiratory trouble. So I purchased the 9-foot version of this tree. So it comes in 4 large parts that we're going to assemble together. So this one's going to be pretty big, but they do have little labels on them so you know which one is which. All right, so because the tree is 9 feet tall, the base is going to be pretty wide. It is 62 inches. So you want to keep that in mind if you're going to accessorize your tree with a tree collar or a tree skirt. So the first part looks pretty simple, where you're just going to screw that first piece into the base to really secure it. Now, I will say that once the full tree was assembled, it was a little bit wobblier than I would have liked. So you really want to pay attention to this first part. All right, so I want to take a moment to show you guys the cross section of this tree so you can see a little bit more about how it's constructed. Towards the center of the tree, you'll notice it's a lot darker in the middle. They're using a much cheaper material. This is like the cheapest type of pine material that they make, and they're filling it in the center, I guess, to add more fullness to the tree. And then as you work your way out towards the tip where you put most of your ornaments, they've switched over to a much higher quality type of branch tip. And that's, I guess, what gives it more of a real feel while still keeping the cost down. So that is something to pay attention to. I think I've discovered the secret for how the Home Decorators Collection keeps their trees much more cost effective than other premium stores like the King of Christmas. All right, so as I'm looking at this tree going up, I can tell right now I'm already loving it. It is just a gorgeous tree, but I will have to say I was just not prepared for just the sheer size of this tree. Now, when I saw it in the store, it just looked like a regular tree. It looked pretty big, but it just didn't seem, to be overwhelming. And that's probably because the ceilings at the Home Depot are really tall. But as I'm getting it into my house, this tree is looking bigger and bigger, and I think it is really going to make a statement this year. So again, this is the Home Decorators Collection from Home Depot. I purchased the 9-foot Kenwood Fraser Fir tree. It's flocked and it has pre-lit LED lights. Now it has 1200 micro dot lights, and the color on the lights is warm white. I will say when it comes to warm white, it is very warm. It honestly looks kind of yellow, and to some extent, sometimes a tree can give a yellow cast to it. So you really want to pay attention to what kind of decorations you pair with it if you want to kind of cut the yellow effect of the tree. Now the light functions can twinkle or they can just stay on steady. It has a foot pedal to turn the lights on or off, which I thought was pretty nice. Now the tree has a 62-inch diameter base at the bottom, so that's going to be a pretty sufficiently wide base to support the tree. And it has 6,400 branch tips, so it should have a pretty good amount of fullness and has a nice amount of realism to it. So my overall review of the tree is I think it's an absolutely great product. It's significantly cheaper than some of the trees that I looked at from King of Christmas and a couple of other major Christmas tree retailers. I think the quality is really first rate for the price that I paid. I thought the installation was really simple and easy to do. My husband was not fussing about it, so I thought that was good. And when it comes to the shedding, I thought the shedding was pretty standard. It's definitely not the worst shedding I've ever seen, but it's certainly not a zero shedding tree. So I think that the shedding is something that you can deal with, but I think that's just to be expected, especially with the initial unboxing. I would imagine that after I wrap it up and put it up next year, that I probably won't have as much shedding the following year. But all in all, I have to say that I'm pretty impressed with this tree from Home Depot with the Home Decorators Collection. I do happen to like the Fraser Fir tree, but the one thing I would say about it is the pine on this particular style of tree is not as fluffy. So I'm definitely going to have to bring it when it comes to the ornaments if I want a really full look. Although some people are going for more of a minimal tree look, so there are definitely some options with the tree. The way that they put a lot of the cheaper garland in the middle really does add to the fullness of it. So I think that's going to be good. And of course, if you really want to add even more fullness, you can just go in with some plain garland or even a flocked garland and kind of wrap the base a little bit more if you want to add even more fullness to a tree like this. So all in all, I would say I'm very impressed with the tree. I cannot wait to decorate with it this season. So I will be having in probably a week or so my Christmas home tour videos starting to come out. So do watch out for that because I am going to do some hopefully amazing things with my new Christmas tree. So I'm Danielle, the Domestic Scientist. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like what you saw today, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.